Hope you had a Merry Christmas, and hope you're going to have a Happy New Year. December 29th, we squeaked in again, folks. Here we are, British People's League, BritishPeoplesLeague.com, at you with our second video for December. 2 videos a month doesn't sound like much, but when you had a job as well, it's tricky stuff. Okay, we're not going to polish off the year by crying. Just want you to know out there, you try it. This ain't no picnic. And again, I wish to thank, for all of their years' assistance, our man with Candor, candor.org.uk, CANDOUR.org.uk. Check them out. Very fine British historical aspects, white patriotism in Britain and the motherland. And our webmaster person knows who they are, of course. And if you need good web work done, get in touch. We'll give you the party's email. Very reasonable prices, afraid of nothing, courageous. Okay, last broadcast of 2013. I'm sure you've heard that on the public news media enough times. And yes, it would be nice if Beattie got his dates straight for a change. But hey, it's the message. Let's not look for fluff and dandruff. It's the message that we try to give. Positive. So, again, I'm assuming that you had a good Christmas. Now, there are people who have had family bust-ups, and unfortunately, etc. Well, sometimes the grandparents can help pitch in there. And for them, it probably was tough. Okay? Me being a selfish individual who enjoys my private time, I love it when it's quiet over the holiday season. Well, it's a different world for yours truly. I don't want to bore you with personal stuff. You tune in here for British People's League, BritishPeoplesLeague.com. But hey, I'm the label. So you sort of got to put up with the label sometimes. But the peaceful time has begun for January. My 20-year career job finished as of December 20th. I've got to clean up some files a little bit more in January. Clean up the house here. Then February, of course, February 15th, we start. Middle of February. I haven't got the calendar in front of me. Middle of February, we start the daily, 5 days a week videos. YouTube, 20 minutes in length. It's going to be tricky stuff, trying to keep up your enthusiasm, never mind mine. I was going to read out a reply, a very, very lengthy, detailed reply, as you can see, to many in our blind list earlier today. I was going to quote some of that response to our lawyer friend Don in California. He's talking about burnout of different blog sites in the United States that talk about white patriotism, the survival of the white race, etc. I'm really glad Don keeps me tuned in with American goings-on as we're narrowing our focus back to our roots, British People's League, and our link is really with the motherland and those here in British Canada. Our British American friends, we're not deserting you. We're with you. You know who you are in the blind list. But I just don't have time even. Hey, I'm full-time at this now for the cause, for our peoples. But I don't have time to follow every grouping that there is in the United States. There are many, many of them. And the day will come when they get together and then they can form a good, powerful lobby force. But back to our roots, the British People's League, set up here in Canada to pronounce and to glue together those expatriates from the motherland and also act as a base for Britons around the globe. We're not cutting into the strawberry patch of the patriotic groups in the motherland. Some may think so. No, not at all. We're here to reinforce the activities of those in the motherland, especially candor.org.uk, because Candor is a cultural base with the roots as to those who have come and gone, and we want them back again. Gather in the sheaves, let's bring them back. Let's bring back the sheaves that have sort of blown away in the wind. Come on, let's get them back in the field here. So candor.org.uk, they're the best to start off with in the motherland. And from there, spread your wings. Unfortunately, there's squabbles internally in different groups. Takes time to sort itself out. And of course, we're desperate with the times. Now, how can we say we're desperate when people on the street look at us as if we're nuts or listening to us on these shows? Desperate about what? Yeah, right. They don't see the news, the mobs of blacks in the States, that big Florida bust up in a plaza, 600 of them. I mean, the eyeballs show what color they are. And it's the good immigrants that have come along and all the mass immigration. Sure, there's hundreds of good ones, and they're the ones that suffer as a result of the what's the word to describe it? The complete anarchy of the other immigrants. It's the politician to blame, the politicians who open the gates. But we know these things, okay? I am preaching to the choir deliberately. We don't want members of the choir drifting off, so we have to talk to you, members of the choir. It's up to you to bring in your brothers and sisters, your cousins, your aunts, and your uncles. If they've all disowned you, bring in the pal that you go to Tim Hortons with for coffee. Whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. And I don't, as said in the last video, want to turn off people who have been generous with their time and their work and sending me lengthy emails as to what's going on out there in the world. But believe me, pals, gals and girls and guys and laddies and lassies, we can see what's going on in the world out there. I don't mean to demean your efforts. I know many of you are frustrated and you feel you're doing something by alerting other groups. Well, it's just a merry-go-round of emails about what's going on, because the general news media carries what's going on. They may not specifically identify the race that's involved, but that's where the eyeballs come in. Or as our poster on the wall, I can never get the fingering right here on these damn videos. Anyway, under Queen Victoria over my shoulder there. It says, immigration, open your eyes. Your eyes tells the story. That's why that's such a beautiful poster. Okay, what's next, Beattie? 2014 targets for the British People's League. 2014 targets for the British People's League. All legal, of course. Always legal. Okay, van plan number 2. Van plan number 1 is sort of sitting on hold because people don't want to be identified publicly picketing. So until they are fed up enough that they will, I'm here, I'm game. The fellow who has the vans, he's available anytime. He's a sympathizer, a friend of our cause. But until there are people who actually will stand up with us, I'd say we need a dozen. Dirty dozen? We need a dozen minimum to make that effective. But in the meantime, come up with van plan number 2. A watered-down version that just might work in 2014. Let's say starting around March. February, I got to get used to this 5-day-a-week video stuff to keep you people pleased. And yes, in February, I'll start the hint for smallish donations, whatever you could swing. But I have to earn it first. 5 days a week videos. Yes, and I hope my voice is loud enough. When I sit back from the screen, I hope that the video camera picks it all up okay. Okay, back to the plan in March. Reality is reality. As much as my direct ancestry is all British to the bone, the United Kingdom, the motherland, and we're in touch, and we're hopefully helping them build in our own ways behind the scenes. But the reality with the British People's League, the majority of views and hitters every morning when I check Google Analytics come from 2 cities here in central East Ontario. Peterborough, Ontario, Canada, and Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. Now, what gave me this thought was I think it was called a Flash Pipers in Invergordon in Scotland. If you check out our Facebook page, go through our main page and it gives you the Facebook page code number and so on. John Beattie. You'll see the Invergordon flash piping. And there they are, kilts and all, strutting through the plaza at the Hamburg Eateries, which is spread around the world. Big open eatery sections of huge plazas. And for one, I was quite pleased to see in the eateries, it was mostly Scottish whites. So the pipers come down the escalators around and round. No, we're not going to mimic the flash pipers. We only got one or two pipers available in any case at this time. Oh, well, when people start to smell success, there'll be no problem then in rolling forward. It's a story of history. Once people smelled a bit of success, they went in on the bandwagon. Well, one form of success is that we're still here after a year on these videos non-stop, never had a problem as far as appearance, etc. A couple of technical problems. I think one week the volume was down and getting the location set up here, the studio. But basically we're still here. That to me is a sign of success with all of the enemies we're supposed to have. Yes, there's enemies here and there and everywhere, but there are ways to skirt around. That's how wars are won. You skirt around the enemy and you surprise the enemy. Well, we're not promoting war. I was just using a historical analogy, ladies and gentlemen. Pathetic, isn't it? In a free country, we've got to be so careful on how we say things. But in any case, back to the flash pipers in Invergordon. And there's a video on the John Beattie Facebook page. So here's all these plazas. Peterborough and Oshawa, well, of course they have big plazas and big inside eateries. So methinks Johnny Boy was thinking to himself the other day, and then when I was trying to think of how to get things rolling better, because we're slowly, as Freddie, our turtle mascot, we're slowly crossing the road here. We haven't taken a step backwards, but is there enough time? People who know the score, we know time is limited. By the year 2050, whites will be in a minority in the Western world, period, end of story. So we've got to roll pretty quick. So if van plan number 1, people haven't reached the stage of being fed up enough yet to join us on a public picket line, picketing, say, the British Embassy in favor of capital punishment so that the butchers of Lee Rigby, the soldier that was massacred in broad daylight in the motherland, capital punishment, they should be hung. But those are the types of things we want to picket the embassies over, okay, in support and linkage with the motherland. Now, that's sitting on hold till there's enough people keenly interested. Okay, we've established that. So van plan number 2, we just take a van, 9 people. We head to the eateries, the plaza. We do a flash Hamburg, flash eatery, flash eating, whatever you want to call it. But we're not deliberately going to raise a stink to have attention drawn to us in a big way. But hey, you people there, and I know you're there because I see the statistics every morning, in Peterborough and Oshawa especially, because you're always number 1 on the hit list, hit parade. We will appear on a Saturday afternoon, unannounced. Only those who would be coming with us will know if we're going to visit an eatery at a big plaza in Oshawa or Peterborough. It'll be one or the other, maybe 2 weeks in a row in Oshawa, 2 weeks in a row in Peterborough, mixed up, whatever have you. That's just so that nuisance opposition can't whine and disrupt our enjoyable get-togethers. So what's the point? What's the point, Beattie, here? The point is that you folks, please spread a link of these shows, especially this show. You people in Peterborough and Oshawa, spread a link to this show to your friends in Peterborough and Oshawa. Because what we will do, we'll have, well, we're hoping 9, well, we'll say a minimum of 5. We'll show up on a Saturday afternoon at an eatery will have some kind of symbolism, whether it's the British People's League shirt with the Union Jack on the left patch. Well, marks will still be cool. Or T-shirts over sweaters. But at our table, whether it's 5 or 9 seated, we'll try and get a center table in one of the big eateries. But the most identifiable mark of all will be yours truly. So you got this old face on your screen there. So, and the Aussie hat. Okay, the Aussie hat. I will always wear the Aussie hat at these casual get-togethers at the Plaza Eateries. I think it'll work. I think it'll work. I think there'll be some old friends. For whatever reason, they haven't come up to Minden, but they're there. They tune in every week, every day, and it shows how long the visits are for. And the average visit is 20 minutes. So you know they're listening to the whole video. So then when we're there, I'm reasonably sure, knowing human nature a little bit, that they will drop by and join us for a coffee and a hamburger and say hello, meet and greet. I think it'll work fine. I really do. So that's the 2014 target. That's the plan. What would we suggest? Well, it depends how it's going. If a couple of people stroll over that are known to us or are obviously sympathetic to the views of the British People's League, they're obviously sympathetic. They're going to sit down. We're going to sit down for a couple of hours, but I imagine an hour max. And then we'll shoot over to the other city, to Oshawa, do exactly the same thing. The biggest plaza will alternate plazas. I think it may work. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I'd like you blinders out there to give me your opinion on it. I do pay attention to the blind list, folks. They give me the advice. Now, we're flipping pages around here. Okay, we got to give credit where you wouldn't expect us to do. Prince Charles. That's been a world headline. And I've said things that you read in world headlines I don't have to really bring up here, but they're going to be exceptions. Positive exceptions. When accent the positive, deflate the negative, as the old song goes. Prince Charles came out and he stated clearly that the slaughter of Christians by Muslims must stop. Prince Charles has said it. So maybe it's taken him years and years. Maybe all those years he was dancing around in the mosques had a meaning. Maybe he was trying to keep a peaceful dialogue. Maybe that time he and his lady were just about beaten up going through a plaza by the young mobs. Maybe that shook him up. And he realized that things are going on the streets. In any case, he said it. He did it. So congratulations. And I suggest to all you viewing, you have to take your hats off to Prince Charles for stating the obvious. The slaughter of Christians by Muslims in the Middle East must stop, just as much as the slaughter of Palestinians by Israelis must stop. We want peace in the world. Let's get the real truth of the matter, and let's get peace where peace is due. A little tidbit. The best video we could talk of, these videos just started January 2013, this year, January. About 24 videos. The best video, by far, was, of course, coincidentally, with the only guest to a gal with guts who came on the show, casual as can be. Sarah from Oshawa. That video, July 15th video. Check it out. Best video by far of our first year's videos. Okay. We're starting off with a smile for the new year. Optimistic. We're going places. The British People's League is going places. Stick with us now. Get in touch. BritishCanada@gmail.com. BritishCanada@gmail.com. We expect to hear from you soon. Very soon. Goodbye for now.